Today, we are in a conversation with Ms. Preiti Patel, Chief Strategy and Growth Officer at Tata Projects. Tata Projects in the last few years have been identified with the development of key marquee nation building projects, such as the development of the new Parliament building, as well as the construction of the Trans Harbour Link, also known as the Atal Setu, and engineering marvel. In today's conversation, we'll explore with Ms. Patel the trajectory that Tata Projects will take in terms of project selection in the coming years, as well as the various elements of ESG and sustainability that the company will incorporate in its day-to-day operation, and how Tata Projects plans to navigate the competitive landscape in the Indian infrastructure sector. So thank you for joining us out here at ET Infra Conversations. On the first outset itself, what I would like to sort of explore from your end, uh, you're part of the larger Tata group. It's something that's synonymous with discipline and sort of ethics and sort of a virtue, especially when it comes to the nation building. Within
Yes.
this larger group, what is the philosophy that Tata Projects itself identifies with it? How would you describe it?
So we definitely imbibe the Tata Group's ethos of and which is essentially trust and values. And we are a company which is very active into nation building. I mean actual building. So definitely we have our mission, vision, values, which is based on the Tata Group's ethos. That is, a mission is to transforming lives by building a better world. And of course, the vision is to deliver projects predictably and sustainable projects through innovation and technology. The values are, of course, safety first, always work with collaboration and inclusion. And we are very value conscious. We have high amount of accountability and responsibility towards all the stakeholders. That's the users of the infrastructure that we build, the all the ecosystem that goes into building it, and also we look at longevity of the infrastructure that we build. So that's the value that we come from, and we really believe in safety and sustainability.
True. I mean, as an very formidable EPC player in the last few years, at least going the last decade, you have really got involved into a lot of nation building projects, which really sort of identifies with the Tata Group's ethos, as you mentioned. But currently, and even going forward, the landscape even in the infrastructure sector is sort of changing. Which the subsectors within the infra would you identify will be the focus areas of Tata Projects? Because I've come across stakeholders from the industry. Now even elements like manufacturing or building data centers are sort of now key themes. So where does Tata Projects will identify itself in terms of the key areas it wants to get into?
So I would say one thing, that we have gained a great momentum since September 22, as I would call it. And since then, we have focused all our efforts into urban transformation projects, energy transition projects, and fourth generation factories.
Right.
Now, this is something which is really forward looking, future looking. And this comes with our proven capabilities that we have had in the essentially the core infrastructure space. So yes, there is data centers, there's renewables, there's like for example PSPs, there's nuclear, thermal, there's urban transportation of various kinds like metros and DFCC, if you would take it like the so these are the efforts that we have made, and we have successfully delivered some of the iconic projects in these spaces. And as a result of our successful deliveries, we have built that capability to be more future ready vis-a-vis some of the competitors that we have.
Now in the current landscape, if I take it forward, uh, among the EPC space itself, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, there were select EPC, major EPCs who were sort of really engaged in many of these infrastructure sectors. I'm quite sure new players have come in. The landscape has become competitive. How do you navigate through? Because I'm quite sure when there are more competition, you will also have to sort of navigate through, the how do you maintain the margins and at the same time deliver the projects, which are sustainable, which receive, sort of the really the benchmark that Tata's, put it in their projects.
So it's, the entire space is based on a contracting model, right? So the earlier models of contracting were basically item rate, as you would call it. Uh, and what it is evolving these days is a entire responsibility is now as a part of the company delivering it. So it's more LSTK or EPC or EPCM. So these are the models that are evolving. Also, we have gone ahead even a step further. So we have gone ahead with certain, early involvements where we propose that this is the utilization of the asset that's going to happen. We propose the best way that that asset could be utilized in power, in terms of, factories, in terms of where the office buildings, how the utilization efficiency will come in. So we go into a larger in-depth details that we are able to provide because of our knowledge and expertise. So when you say about competition, the competition, there are many newer players, but they are in let's say the item rate model of contracting, whereas we have gone ahead with EPC and even ECI, that's early contract involvement kind of scenario, which offers more value to the client. So the inputs from the clients are limited to their utilization, whereas we envision the entire infrastructure and we offer them a solution. So that's where we are at. So when you say about competition, competition will occur at the lower spectrum of the contracting. Yes, we do participate in some spaces because that's the only available option for us. But having said that, we also offer a whole lot of different inputs where the industry or the client would want it. So that's where we have a leverage or an edge over a large amount of competition.
True. I mean, the way I would see it is the value add that you bring from the larger, Tata Group's sort of experience, being engaged with many projects over the years. In the past and in the recent past, you have sort of engaged in the many of the market projects out here in, the Parliament Building and other major, uh, projects in Delhi, in Delhi and Bombay itself, and other parts of the country. Wanted to understand where would that define Tata Projects going forward? Because I understand when you do get engage in such a marquee and big national building projects, the project completion date can sort of extend, and then those things can build up pressure on EPC players like Tata Projects. How would you define, Tata Projects' approach to such, engagements in the future?
So we have very clear focus. We are organized into certain verticals like building and infrastructure. We have energy. We have urban transportation um, and industry, etc. So the projects that you speak about, the iconic projects like Parliament Building or Mumbai Trans Harbour Link, the
Yes.
Tata Electronics Factory, these are either one of a kind or they are the first ones, right? And we have successfully delivered these. But having said that, there are also a standard set of projects, as I said, that we deliver in transportation, in factories. So these are all sort of standard set of projects that form maximum of our order book. Besides the iconic projects that will definitely, we are very happy and enthusiastic to participate. So yes, we are open to projects which are technology driven, which allow us innovation, which allow us creativity in engineering, and will also allow us, like, because we have business excellence and innovation, and we are very focused on the ESG, that we would like to always take up projects which include these, and these are one of the value parameters that the client decides us.
Right. I understand that those national buildings, big market projects, you will sort of approach it as and when you find it suitable within your broader scheme of things. But I just want to follow up questions with that. Whether it is projects like the Parliament Building or the Trans Harbour Link, now called the Atal Setu, What is the key experience that you have, gotten from it? Because exposure to such projects, and especially the, Atal Setu, which is sort of really, redefine the whole, Mumbai metropolitan region. What is has been sort of the key takeaway? Because there has been some value add with such, getting engaged into such a marquee project.
So definitely the key takeaway is that the more complex the project, the more technology integration is required. Delivery has the discipline in delivery
True.
has been one of our key learnings, and also financial discipline, execution discipline. These are some of the really great learnings that we've had, and we've incorporated a lot of excellence models because of these learnings that we've had.
Right. In our conversation so far, you have touched upon the sustainability part of it, and I'm quite sure this is something in terms of you are part of the broader strategy for Tata Projects. I'm quite sure sustainability and those aspects will be now embedded in almost every workings of Tata Projects. Help us understand in what way sustainability will play part of Tata Projects going forward, and when we do talk about sustainability. Just help us understand the Tata Projects model of sustainability or undertaking sustainable projects.
So at Tata Projects, we have two key differentiators. One is business excellence and innovation,
Right.
and second is ESG. These are like our two strong pillars that drive all projects that we look at. Okay, in varying degrees. So ESG is really dear to our heart. It also comes as a part of Tata Group's sustainability roadmap. Right. So it's not only at Tata Projects level, it's also at the group level that we are very much focused on sustainability. And we also have a net zero goal of 2045. All right. So we began these practices with smaller improvements in our projects. For example, we have a circular water usage in construction. We have rainwater harvesting. We have strived for no landfills, recycling concrete. Now, the second step is we are focused on using green construction materials and technologies like fly ash, M-sand, green steel, focusing on precast. We use a lot many energy efficient, devices, equipment. We have definitely all the lighting, etc., is energy efficient and green. So there is entirely, we have a dashboard of ESG, which we really give it a very serious standing in all our project execution. I mean, we have very large targets that we have set for ourselves, and we are making great strides. I wouldn't say we are making baby steps. I say we are making great strides towards ESG. Also, the sectors that we are looking to work in, like the renewables, the nuclear power to any of the electricity generation, the 4th-gen factories. We are actually incorporating every single element of ESG into design, execution, and operation at all levels.
Let me ask this question, and this is a question that I pose to almost every senior executives with whom I interact. To be compliant with the ESG, and I'm quite sure the company has to do it because it also has to live up to its the global standard, its stature. But this transition for an ESG enabled environment or an ESG enabled project execution, is that transition is an expensive transition? Because we have had debates in the past where the transition to a much more, let's say, greener or cleaner sort of infrastructure or development will necessarily entail a little bit of upfront cost. Maybe it will streamline down the line, but does entail a sort of a transition cost. How Tata Projects, in your ESG and sustainability efforts, have you seen that landscape? Is it an expensive transition?
Actually, I would say this, India, culturally, we Indians, we always have had ESG in our culture. Okay. So the way things were, or the way even traditionally the infrastructure is being built, always had this element of, sustainability and looking after our environment. It wasn't that we were just destroying things around that we built. I mean, you would know about the rural life of India also. It is imbibed into our culture. So it's not something that it's come foreign to us and we are, spending a lot of money doing it. We have always been doing sustainable practices. It's just that now we have sort of boxed them into these spaces, and then we are trying to, make it more digital.
Yeah.
So it's just like calling it out and branding it with something which normally 70% of practices were already there with us. You know that we do not waste anything. We reuse our plastic bags, we reuse our newspapers. I mean, these are the simplest things. So the same way in our construction sites as well, we have always been reusing things.
Right. No, I mean that is reflective in the Atul Setu project also, because the effort that went into in preserving the biodiversity, right, along
Yes.
the coast, especially when the projects did come up. I mean that's probably an example in itself, how you do take such a huge project with that sort of undertaking, and at the same time, whether the marine ecosystem, which is a very fragile ecosystem, you're sort of balancing out. I think that to me at least stands out as an example. One of my few last questions. Uh, every company, at the end of the day, has a responsibility to its shareholders. The profitability is one of the key major aspects. How going forward, what would be the driving factor? I'm quite sure Tata Projects as of now is not listed, but as and when if you do decide in the future to get listed, to the shareholders, profitability will be a major factor. How do you balance it going forward? How do you make sure that the projects that you do are sustainable, and at the same time you're getting the returns, you're getting the margins that you would like to have?
So as I said, that we care for every stakeholder. Okay. It's and definitely we always try to deliver value to all our stakeholders. So we are very selective in the projects that we take up. We have very strict adherence to the priority sectors that we have identified strategically, and we always look at predictable project delivery. And that's where in an EPC space, when you have a project delivered in a very predictable construction program, you automatically translate into a profitable growth. And having said that, when we are, as I said, our key differentiators are business excellence and innovation. We spend a lot of time innovating and perfecting what we do, right? And we also have ESG. We have a lot of global partnerships that look to us, that since we are the one of the pioneers in this space, that we really deliver on these lines of business excellence and innovation and ESG. We have these kind of differentiators which allow global partnerships to come, and we again deliver better and more innovative projects. So that's something that makes us stand apart and also give great value to our stakeholders.
Right. Right. My last question, it's a little bit personal. I just wanted to understand, you're sort of now, at the helm for sort of defining this, strategy for Tata Projects. At a personal level, what it, means for you to work at Tata Projects? What is it about your own growth? You have been, the helm of this industry, for many decades now. You have seen it all, maybe the good times, the bad times. What does it mean personally for you to be at Tata Projects?
So personally, I'm so excited, and there's every day is a new day, looking at newer things, really making things more efficient, giving great value, looking forward to great innovations from teams, and also a woman in APC space.
Yes.
Tata Projects is, I think, one of the rare companies which gives these opportunities, and also opportunities to, be very proactive and participate for various things, which sometimes may be difficult for a woman, you know.
All right.
So I'm really personally very happy.
All right. Ms. Patel, it was really, lovely having this conversation with you. I really appreciate, you taking your time out, and all the best to you for the future.